So today, I'm doing an analysis of Michael Polito, plays defense for the St. George Ravens, junior A hockey.
St. George Ravens victorious 7-3 over the Lincoln Mavericks for their 9th win on the year.
So this is obviously a relatively high level of hockey, and oftentimes what we see at this level here is players who are I would say fairly polished in their abilities, but they make oftentimes they still make mistakes that they can't break out of because they've been playing the game for a long time, and they get into this mold. This you could call it a style of play, and actually, if you dig yourself into a certain style of play, you can really hurt yourself when you're trying to improve. So, Michael Polito is number 9, and I will be editing this video to focus specifically on what he is doing. I'm going to back it up a few seconds here, because the opposing team is going to break out here, and what we should be seeing for a defenseman. So I'm going to pause it here. Michael is here. Michael is right here, and his defense partner picks up the puck close along the boards here. Now, the responsibility of the defenseman's partner, these guys are supposed to be helping each other out. You want to make your D partner's life as easy as possible. And so while this positioning here is okay, where you actually want to be is somewhere here. Reason being is that obviously we will usually have one forward pressuring this D-man here. Now, this pass from here across is much more dangerous because of this guy here. So where Michael should be standing is further back here, so that there's actually an angle on this pass this way, which allows 17 to, or excuse me, does not allow 17 to have this pressure. Likewise, this is a long pass that you're seeing. Typically, the rule for D to D passes is you don't want them to be longer than the distance between these two circles. So, as we can see, Michael is almost completely in line with this circle here, maybe by a foot or so. And this pass is coming from almost the boards. And so that is longer than the distance between these two. So that's just the general rule of thumb. So if you were to be standing, maybe there, so this pass would have been easier and just in general safer play. So I'm going to assume here, from what I know of Michael, that he fanned on this pass. That's okay. But another good instance is to just take your time. Back up with the puck and make this pass behind the net, okay? You know your defense partner's here, and this is where it comes into play where I'm talking about that you need to make your partner's life as easy as possible. Michael's life was actually made pretty hard because this 17 was pressuring him quite hard. So I would like to see the D partner here, or maybe just off screen here, so that this pass is made easy. The centerman here can curl, and likewise the winger can post up here for an easy calculated breakout. But instead Michael's pressured, and I don't know if he fanned on the puck or whatnot, but obviously gives the puck away. Those mistakes will happen though.
The defense across for Horn.
So this play actually becomes quite dangerous here. So as we see, blue here is in a very in a disadvantaged position because the puck is on the weak side of his stick in relative position to this attacker here. So if he picks up the puck, then he has a 1-on-2, of course, but I would say a very clear shot at the net, depending on how Michael here plays that. Both of these two guys, though, are too far back. So we're seeing play develop just inside the blue line, where you actually have the numbers advantage. Okay, so you have 3 guys here, 4, 5. And so, I mean, just based on what we're seeing in screen, it's a 3-on-5. So what you want to see here is these guys, again, supporting each other. So Michael can get aggressive here, but at this point, it's actually too late for that to happen based on where the puck is. Similar to this defenseman here, he's too far back. He should be forward. Reason being is that if this player picks up the puck and both defensemen are right here, he has no room to make a play unless he just simply outplays you. Whereas now he has tons of room, and Michael tries to skate forward, as we'll see right now. But luckily, this player doesn't maintain control of the puck very well, because this could easily be turned into a 1-on-1 position right now. So I'll just play it forward. So as we see, the puck gets lost in the skate right here. Nobody's looking at it for a split second. No one knows where the puck went. And Michael is turning his body the wrong way. So we have a situation here where these guys got lucky. This whole line got very, very lucky with how this played out. If this player retained possession of the puck, this would be a 1-on-1 right now, particularly because of poor positioning on both the defenseman's part. So next time we want to see if the puck is here, we want to see the defenseman right here and right here to close this gap. Okay? Just bear with me. So a good chip off the glass, particularly if the D-men are wanting to change.
Picked off by Polito.
Okay.
Takes a hit on the backside, hard hit.
So this play here by Michael is actually pretty good. Just unfortunately loses his balance, but very good recognizing that this angle. So actually, I'm just going to back it up again ever so slightly so we can see it again. Okay, so we're going to see that Michael recognizes very well that he does not have the angle to go behind the net, which would have been the safest play here. Okay, so we can see that this forward takes the correct approach by cutting this angle off here, as well as making this pass very dangerous, giving Michael one option, which is to come up here. So on both their parts, good recognizing that this is what you need to do. Great stop. Unfortunately, does fall down.
Falls down in the near corner. Kerner a second time tries to make a play. Harrington on the side wall, played to Getz for Tilsenberg. The long pass
Here again, where it always comes down to making your defense partner's life as easy as possible.
Number 7 defender Carroll.
So the puck gets chipped in here. You guys switch sides, which is fine. But as soon as you see this pressure coming, so this is hard pressure here, you have to assume that the only way that your D-man can go based on his skates. So you see how he's on, on the outside and inside edge of his skates here, meaning that in order to cut back this way is going to be much more challenging than instead bringing the puck back around this way, whether that's a pass or what have you. So this is where you are, though. You need to recognize instantly that this is happening and either pivot or get your butt right down here or right here for either the pass behind the net or a pass across to alleviate the pressure. But what we see is instead of hustling, I guess, it's a long loop, and then this pass happens, but as you can see, you're up here, and now the puck is down here. So this turns into a very sloppy breakout. If they have their two other forwards coming down, this is suddenly not a breakout anymore. You need a complete reset. And so you take pressure and give up the puck again.
And the Ravens yet to get a shot away.
So this, I mean, a lot of this just comes down to communication and just proper positioning. I guess you have to be, when you're playing defense, you have to consider yourself as being the most courteous person on the ice, especially when it comes to your D partner.
4-7 with 9:09 showing on the clock.
That was good positioning here. Let me just back it up again slightly. So I really like what you did to your, in terms of being courteous to your defense partner. So we see he has his head up. I believe he glances at you first. Now your positioning is good because this pass here, again, that's a short pass, and this is about moving the puck quickly, right? You have a completely and better angle on the ice than what he does right now. Look at his body position. He's on one skate currently, one hand on his stick, and is locked in to this angle on his skate. Okay, so he can only go one way right now, and that is like this. Okay, and those are things you want to avoid. But in your case, you are cutting backwards. You have an open view of everything that's going on the ice, and that's what you need to have as a defenseman. You need to have an understanding of everything that's going on here. So if you were to actually make this pass here, I would say that's a better play, because not only can you make a better decision than what he can right now, but you have the ability to also skate the puck, because you are curling this way backwards, and then you make a good decision here when he decides to skate the puck, which in my opinion was a bad decision. But regardless of his decision, you stay courteous to him. You could have common mistake is for the defenseman to believe he needs to keep skating up ice, and then you guys get, so close to each other because he is on this angle, right? And then if something goes wrong, the whole other half of the ice is in trouble. But you skate here, and then you stop, which is very good. Stop, right? So if he were to get into trouble here in this 4 versus 1 scenario, he can drop the puck to you. So he could easily, which would have been the better play, to drop the puck to you instead of forcing up here. Because when I was saying earlier about how he can't see the rest of the ice, he probably couldn't see that you have literally your entire forward line over here changing. And so now he's forced to make this play here and give the puck away. Where instead, probably the better play would have been to simply give you the puck, and then you're at an angle to take this free ice and make this pass here. So good positioning.
On the clock, Ravens. Burnett pokes it to the side wall.
Okay, so in this position here, you're too far forward. The puck comes out to the blue line, and this is where you're standing. Now, this is an opposing player here. He isn't in a bad position, but what if the rebound instead came out this way? Then suddenly your goalie's in trouble. You standing here, you're cutting off vision for yourself of everything that's going on over in this area here. What you need to do instead is stay at the back post. If you're at the back post, you can see everything that's going on. You would understand that there's a player here, and if the puck came, you're able to 2 versus 1 this player here, and negate the chance that he's going to pick up the rebound. But instead, it turns into a 1 versus 1 situation because you're too far forward.
Adam Polomsky shot there by Hurricanes. The centering pass, left wing wall. Scott Dorian looking for Carter Tracy's shot.
It was a good back check.
Looking for a second.
Just be careful. Make sure that you're backing up sooner. Of course, those are negligible.
Tracy, Haig back to Tracy. Tracy.
I couldn't see what you were doing earlier.
Shot, they score! Chris Haig underneath.
So that's very good because your back check allowed you to set up this goal. People usually don't think that far back in hockey, but it is true. If you didn't back check near as hard, the puck would have been either scored or frozen in your end. So good job. Just gonna back it up a tad here. So we turn around. So from what we can see, this player here is going to be heading over here, and that's who I assume you go to pass for. So he is open. So this is a good quick pass. Learning how to make this pass here is one of the biggest challenges defensemen can do. Your momentum is going back this way, so making a pass up ice here is very challenging. So you can appreciate the try, and I'm not sure if it just hopped over his stick or what, but that was a good look. If you're unsure about that pass, though, don't be afraid to go D to D and just slow it down. Because obviously you can see now the consequences in which that incompleted pass makes.
This game so far, he had a hat trick and added 2 assists to add to Horace's 5-point night.
Okay, so in this instance here, just going to back it up ever so slightly. So in this instance here, see right away this happens. You should assume that you will have the numbers advantage. So you see it's going to be 1, 2, let me draw it. 1, 2, 3 versus 1, 2. And this guy is actually changing. So appropriately, you're going to have a 4-on-1 or a 4-on-2. So that means you can afford to be much more aggressive here in this situation. And what I mean by that is here at the blue line, the length of your stick should be the distance between you two. Now, obviously, you take a much more conservative approach, wanting to block the shot as you see that you go down. But he has actually no support here, right? So the cause for concern would be that if you were to get aggressive here, he could just drop the puck, and then they have a lane, or he could pass, and then they have a lane with this 1-on-1, or could even be a 2-on-1 at that point. But because he doesn't have any help here, you can afford to be aggressive, right? Because your D-man needs to be helping you out, making your life easy. His eyes are looking over here. That is the worst thing you could be doing in this situation. He should be looking up here. What is going on? Who's coming? Because that should inform whether or not he needs to back up, or whether he can occupy this space instead, trusting you that this 1-on-1 situation won't turn into a breakaway. And he's going to be cutting off all of this. So that just comes down to trusting each other, but just for what you can do in this situation is recognize that you can get aggressive here because of the situation you're in. Now, you can't control what this guy does, right? That's just the fact of life. And so, because of that, just get aggressive.
First 5 point.
And so, as the play develops, one last thing, we see how it ends up turning out. It's actually a 3-on-2. So you don't even need to allow this guy to take this shot whatsoever, because this is a 2-on-1. If the puck manages to come to this guy here, and a 2-on-1 allows a shot, or allows this guy to get around for an opportunity, that's on them. That's not on you. So in this situation, don't allow this guy to do anything if you don't need to.
Night. And Paolo Civilani, you're in the last spot in the South Division. On most nights, the Steam at a shortage for players.
Good play. That's your superior skating ability coming out. That's very good.
Dorian right side flips a quick backhander. And Rarick, the save, goes
Yeah, that was a good shift.
make the save.
Just little things. It's a lot of these little positioning errors that you need to just be concerned about, because your skating ability is very, very strong. So you can afford to be more aggressive, particularly when you're in these situations with stronger advantages in numbers, in terms of numbers.
But Northumberland Stars with one more victory. Dalton Brown, the draw opposite Tucci. Tucci won it cleanly on the backhand. Timmer.
So just quickly off the draw here. I probably didn't need to go that far back.
And Kerner doesn't appreciate the physicality and takes the left hand off.
Okay.
Covered up by Burnett, and Burnett shows the linesman the puck.
So just off the draw here in particular, as soon as you see this happen with the puck, you know your D partner has very little options, because both wingers start here, right? So unless this guy is going to go straight here for a reverse, you need to make sure that you're in a position to help out your defense partner. So you see that you're out front of the net, which of course isn't terrible, but that doesn't allow anybody, or this doesn't allow your D partner to put the puck this way. So right off the draw, if you notice the puck goes here, you need to get straight back into this corner here. That allows him to throw the puck around past these two guys. Okay? Just little positional, little positional things.
Multiple times, and then in come the fourth place.
So you can see how your defense partner gets aggressive actually. As they come back here,
should air multiple times, and then
your D partner gets aggressive here, right? As you can see, he is doing this correctly, where this gap is very small because you have the numbers, right? 2 versus 4, okay? And so the one mistake that you make, your intentions are very good, where you can tell that he wants to either throw this puck on net or make this pass here, right? So your intentions are good by sitting down to block this, but you can't negate what is going on behind you. As a defenseman, you have to have as much field of vision at all times, right? So here, you can't see what's going on. Now you can say, well, this winger here is going to take number 28, but that's not his responsibility. That's your responsibility to be on him. So by eliminating this option here, the only option that this attacker has is to throw the puck on net or to try something here, but of course that would be a bad decision. So again, your intentions are good by trying to block this, but make sure you know what's going on behind you, right? Because if that puck were to get through, he's in a prime scoring spot.
Fourth place, North York Renegades at 11-1 for a game
back to your end. I want to see this again.
On the near corner. Smith plays it to the near side for St. George. Picked off by Olsen.
Okay. So you're actually in an okay position because this is a quick turnaround. The positioning here at the top of the ring out line is important for those quick transitions, right? You may as well be in the neutral zone when the ice is as open as it is in this area. You position well, I would say, but you're a little too far forward. So you're actually off the screen right now. A good position, due to how open the ice is to actually be up here. Because there's no attacker. If there was an attacker in this position, you want to be back here. But the ice is so open that you want that quick transition, and having him as the last man back isn't a bad thing. So you can actually be up here or a pass like this. Being over here is okay because this pass isn't bad, but you can see the difference in angles here, right? Where this is a lot of ice you have to make up. So just play it a bit. So he actually looks over you, but doesn't see you as an option. Now, I do think that's his mistake, but you need to make yourself an option. You should be at this point down here. If he doesn't pass you the puck, back up, because now there's this attacker here. You want this, you want this angle to pass. Circle to circle, right? That safe defensive D-to-D pass. But he tries to throw it up the wall and gives the puck away. So that's a mistake on both your ends, but that's okay.
Along with Olsen.
It's important to recognize this and utilize that skating ability you have.
The Ravens, Carter Tracy, so they offset the penalty.
You've got him beat, yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Polito quickly 2-on-1 developing. Santos and Steven Santos.
Skating ability is very strong. Being able to do those things is important.
Rather quickly to make a play in behind
good patience.
Net.
Good pass.
Side wall, Santos the shot, and it's taken up high on the left shoulder by Rarick. Harrington the drop.
So again, you can pressure here.
Tuttle, Polito tries to
good job.
Force him to the outside. Instead got the front of the body right directly in front of Tuttle. Santos backed up. Yanks a pass him to Lilja. Lilja, a hard hit.
Okay.
By Carter Tracy.
So the puck comes back up to the blue line here.
Lillian.
And I just want you to pay attention to how far up you come. So you're right now you're about as far up as you should be. You should at this rate you should not be coming up past this line here. Reason being is because you don't want to give this attacker here advantage to get to the net if this puck comes back down this way, and you're unsure of what is going on behind you. So you see that your skates come a few feet above that line, and the puck does get past you, and suddenly we have a 2v1 situation, 2 versus 1 situation, because we have 1, 2 versus 1. Anyone above here is completely out of the play. So this player here is not in the play. You are not in the play. This guy's not in the play. So this is a really bad situation for you guys. Even though the puck is behind the net, if the puck gets through this defender here, that's a prime scoring opportunity. And that was based off of the fact that you just came up too far this way, right? If you were even right here when that puck started to turn around, so you were about, I would say you're about this far up. Now you've circled back a few feet, but if you came up only this far, you could probably be around here at this point, within reaching distance of this player by the time whatever happens here develops, which would make it a not great 2-on-2, but a 2-on-2 nonetheless.
Gotta go have enough.
And so the puck does get through this defender because he stops and brings the puck out this way. Does not result in a goal, thankfully for you, but those are the types of things that you need to be watching out for.
Great upper body hit by Carter Tracy. Dorian on.
But you want to take the higher percentage play. So let me back this one up ever so slightly. We've,
and now the Hurricanes backed up.
Let's see here.
Far side. Centering pass for Boswell.
Okay. So it's good that you are going to get the puck here. But one thing that I noticed that you don't do is, well, maybe you do that. I think that you actually did shoulder check here, which is good. You need to be shoulder checking, so good on you for doing that. So the thing is, though, you should know that if you want to pick up the puck smoothly, you need to create this angle like you do. But then you don't have a pathway here, unless you are just going to muscle through him like you try to do. You're not going to have a path here. So the better option would be to pick up the puck here and protect the puck by turning towards boards. So he comes in like this. You've picked up the puck here. You had time where instead of bringing the puck here to muscle it through, to actually just turn around and protect the puck by bringing it to the boards. So good thing to do. I mean, you might have even been able to still do it here, but to just tap the puck off the boards ever so lightly, and swing your body around enough. You're not putting yourself in a position where you're going to take a bad hit from behind and get yourself killed because of the positioning that he's been coming at you from. So even if you did it sooner, he did not have the angle. He had this angle here to come straight. But if you tried to turn around earlier and just do a little chip off the boards like this and spin around and pick it up and continue this way, that would have been 100 times better, because then he would have been behind you. Oops. Okay. It's a little hard to explain actually over OBS, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. Actually, what I was trying to explain earlier, and I'm really glad that he did that because I can't. So I think I backed up too far. He does exactly what I'm trying to explain. Oops. So, same situation. He had to make this angle to pick up the puck, and he does not have this angle. Exact same situation. So, realizing this, he actually just taps the puck off the boards and turns, giving himself superior positioning to the attacker, just like that. Okay, very easy.
Back for the Ravens. Tried to make a play in beyond Getz. Progress impeded.
That was good for you being there to assist him.
Bouncing puck. Tag ahead for, and the shot wide by Matthew Harrington on the right.
Okay, so pressure. So I think your gap was actually a lot better there. Just gonna back it up ever so slightly. I think your gap is better here. Just have to watch it again. So, okay, so you are approximately, maybe a little more than a stick's length away, which is better from what I've seen otherwise tonight, because you have the numbers that I'm talking about. You can afford this aggression, right? I mean, if he outright beats you, is it your fault? Yes, but can you, is it much safer to be aggressive here because you have these two coming? It's absolutely the better choice. So very good job in this aggression. Although don't even don't let him even get to this area here. You want to see this gap up here, okay? Otherwise, that's pretty well played. Then he obviously gives up the puck.
My apologies to Matt Harrington. I believe I mentioned him in the first period as a defenseman. Hasn't been that noticeable out there. That's what the issue is. He's a fourth-line player.
Oh.
So my apologies.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Down the wing for Dorian. Santos to Haig.
I've never heard a commentator chirp someone like that. He just straight up says he's not very noticeable out there. He's a fourth line player. Goodness. Just rip the kid's heart out, why don't you?
Picked off by Kerner.
Again, just remember to be proactive in your positioning. When that little scuffle is going on in the corner, instead of just standing behind both of them in the corner, so it was right here. There was one or two opposing players, and you had like 1, 2, and then you were here. So there's 4 people here. The puck was chilling here like this, right? So you're not in a terrible position to be here, because if the puck comes out, obviously you're there. But why not swing right out here like this, okay? So if the puck comes out this way, you're in a much more defensive position to be able to contest this puck from the centerman who might be here, or any defenseman trying to come in, right? Because both your centerman and your winger are committed to, we're both committed into this scuffle here. Obviously your deep partner is back here, so you're the only player who can be dynamic. Make sure to come out here like this. Just being proactive like that, and you're thinking, what's going to happen next? What can happen next? What, even if it's not very likely, you want to take the high percentage play in terms of your safety or your defensive prowess. So 5-1 is the final score. Overall, I would say it was a pretty dominating game in terms of puck possession, time on attack, pretty much every stat possible. Maybe not passing percentage. But I would just say the big thing here in this game is your positioning. Okay, your positioning is what needs the most work, and what I mean by that is just being proactive. Okay, I'm trying to write proactive. So just trying to be proactive in thinking about what is going to happen next. What is the most likely thing to happen? What is the best defensive decision that I can make right now? Okay, so there's that, and then there's also being courteous to your defense partner. And again, that comes down to being proactive, right? Like these, this is across the board. Playing defense is about being proactive and analyzing what is the most likely thing to happen next on the ice right now. And so that even comes down to understanding the way that your defense partner is skating. Where are his eyes looking? Because that can inform your next decisions. Aside from that, your skating is very good. Your skating, I mean, it goes without saying, skate is very, very good. This is one of, if not your best attribute. So using that to your advantage is very important, especially in this area here. When you can make tight turns, when you can make little bank plays off the boards, when you can just burn by somebody. This is very, very important usage. So just keep using your skating to your advantage. Use your physicality to your advantage. Overall, this was a good game. So We'll see about how much time I have in regards to editing this, but we will see. I think there was approximately 14 or 15 times where I stop and actually draw something up throughout this gameplay. So if I edit it, I will try to just cut out those sections so that you can see them back to back. But it also might be helpful to watch the full clip. I know it's long, but that is part of getting better, is taking the time to watch these kinds of things and just figure out if you agree or if there's things that you disagree with me on. And you can respond to me or what have you. But this was a good hockey game, so I hope you enjoy this review. I hope you take these things into consideration and try to implement them into your play. Start in practice thinking about these things when you're doing breakout drills, when you're doing neutral zone regroups and these types of things. Think about being proactive in your positioning. But good job. And yeah, thank you for watching, because I know it was a little wonky sometimes
Fifth goal.
in terms of me trying to rewind the gameplay and that kind of stuff. But anyway, this video has gone on long enough, so let me know what you think, and yeah, good luck, man.